Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about front bumpers. The front bumper is one of the most essential pieces of equipment you can have for your overland rig. I would put it next to tires, suspension, sliders, then the very next thing you're going to get is your front bumper. Our overland rigs, we love what they allow us to do, what they allow us to see. They are an investment, and your front bumper is probably one of the biggest insurance policies you can have to protect that investment. The reason we're having the conversation today is because there are many options out there for you to choose from. You need to make sure that the manufacturer actually builds the bumper to do what you need it to do. It is going to provide a service to you, it is going to protect your vehicle, and it is going to provide a service for other people out on the trail if you should need to help them. You have to be sure that the bumper is up to the challenge. Now, a dead giveaway, watch out for fancy names. If you've got a bumper manufacturer calling it the Impinginator 5000 and it has an awesome look with wraparound sides, make sure it's not just bells and whistles. Look into the company, find out how they built the bumper and whether or not they actually tested it for impact standards, toe points, mounting points, and all of the things you need for your bumper. Overland Bound uses the ARB Deluxe Winch bull bar, but a lot of the things we're going to talk about today apply to any bull bar or front bumper you decide to get. We use the ARB for a number of reasons. They don't sponsor us. It just happens to be what we use. They're an industry standard for a number of reasons. They've been making outdoor accessories for over 40 years. And when you purchase a ARB bull bar, yes, they're at the top end of the spectrum in terms of cost, but you're also purchasing 30 years of research and development in the outback and in the lab. It is really hard to beat that. That's one of the reasons they're an industry standard. Some of the things we talked about, they have it nailed in spades. They think about the functionality and the utilitarian aspect of the bumper first, and then they test the heck out of it. So let's take a closer look at the ARB. Keep in mind, it will apply to any bumper you decide to get. Just make sure that the manufacturer has taken these considerations to be very important and that they have the strength and the durability behind it so that you get years and years of use out of your front bumper. Let's take a closer look. Okay, now why do they call this a bull bar? Something that those of us who live in a more urban environment don't think of is animal deflection. But the fact of the matter is this bumper is designed and built to withstand head-on impact with a bull or a kangaroo or other animal. Without a bull bar, you know, best case scenario, you end up with an animal up inside your engine, smashing your radiator and disabling your vehicle, or worst case scenario is you end up with an animal in the cab with you after going over the roof of your rig. This is designed to withstand that impact and keep your vehicle mobile. So, a couple of important considerations. You gotta be careful of bumpers that are lightweight. Just run your finger, just pinch the gauge of the steel that is used in the bumper. If it's aluminum in the side wing area or it's a lightweight material, that bumper is no good. You can feel it. In American standard, this is 3/16 of an inch. The biggest weakness of any bumper is the mounting point to the vehicle. And you have to make sure that the bumper is very well anchored. You have the toe points, which are, you can just tell by looking that this is not going to give way, this is reinforced. And in the winch area, this entire area is reinforced as well. This here is even thicker than the outside wing of the bumper. So this area is all reinforced specifically for use with a winch. Another important consideration for those of you who are using a winch is that you have very clear access to the winch. That's not by accident, that's by design. The last thing you want to be dealing with if you're on the trail and you're either stuck in mud or you have somebody who needs to be rescued is clear access to your winch, and you got to make sure that you can easily grasp the clutching mechanism on the winch, and you don't want any kind of block or tricky maneuvering required to access the winch. I'm also not a fan of designs that fully enclose the winch, because I like to see my winch line. I like to see how it is spooling on the reel, and if I might have some problem just based on the way that the cable or synthetic winch line is rolling onto the spool. You also want plenty of mounting points by design on the bull bar. The reason I emphasize by design is because the last thing I want to do to a bumper that has been engineered for strength is cut into it or drill holes in it that are not intended, because that is just going to weaken the engineering design of the bumper. You guys might have seen my Gobi roof rack review. Again, it's a review just about racks in general. We happen to use the Gobi. With the quality of construction of our choice of bumper and the quality of construction of our choice of roof rack, I have no problem creating a limb riser that anchors to the front bumper and anchors to the Gobi roof rack in order to deflect 3-inch diameter branches when we're plowing through the underbrush. If this were any less strong, or if the roof rack were any less strong, I wouldn't be able to do that. You have to get quality gear for your overland rig. All right, just a couple other things to point out before we wrap up here. 2 things. One, if you can, get a bumper that starts out as a solid piece of sheet steel. This one is a solid piece of steel, and then it is folded into its final shape and welded. That makes it much more strong than if it were made from a bunch of separate parts. The other thing, and now you guys are going to think this is obvious, but apparently not. Make sure your bumper is all weather and that it is not going to rust for a lifetime. I went down the freeway the other day and I saw a bull bar. It looked like it was a couple of years old. It was just coated in rust. This bumper goes through a 5-stage cleaning process before it is coated and baked in an oven. There's never been any rust issues whatsoever in the many years that I've had this bumper. So make sure it really is all weather. And it's hard to know if that's going to be the case if the bumper manufacturer has only been around for a few years. I mean, how are you going to know? All right, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Those are some of the considerations. Do not go cheap. This is one of the most essential pieces of equipment for your overland rig. Now, for opinions about all kinds of bumpers, go over to our forums. We've got over 3,000 members all there to provide advice and opinions, and it is a wonderful community. It doesn't matter what your level of experience is. People are just excited to share information. So if you have any questions whatsoever, go over to overlandbound.com/forums. Join the community. There's never any ads in our forums, and it's always free. All right, so hope to see you around. Maybe we'll see you in the community, and take care. Talk to you soon.